Okay, you know what? I forgot actually. I forgot this verse, and I realized that in the last video. But I want to go into Revelations 13:8, and I'll just start off with that one. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him whose names were not written in the book of the life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. And that book of life is referred to quite often actually in scripture, but it's interesting how why will people, why if they worship him, their names are not going to be written in the book of life. And if you go into 17:8, 17:8, and the beast that thou sawest and is not. So he was and is not, right? Babylon has fallen, right? And he shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. So what is the man of perdition? The man of sin, one who opposes himself above all that is called God or is God, sitting in the temple of God. And they that dwell in the earth shall wonder whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when he behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. That is, Babylon has fallen, has fallen. Rome is the last beast of Babylon, right? And if you go into 20, it also says it in 12, and I saw the dead shall, small and great, stand before God. So that is right at the end, start of the great tribulation, or end. I'm not even sure. I'm not getting into that today, and the books of life were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged according to those things which were written in the book, according to their works. Well, why doesn't it have faith? Why doesn't it have faith, right? And here again, and whoever was not found written in the book was cast into the lake of fire. Why isn't it about faith only? If you go into James 2, here he says, but if ye have respect for persons, ye commit sin. This is verse 9. And are convicted of law and transgressions. For whoever shall keepeth the whole law, yet offend one point, he is guilty of them all. For he that said, do not commit adultery, said also, do not kill. Now if thou commit adultery, yet if thou kill, thou art become a transgressor of the law. Okay? So, but here he says also, what do it profit, my brethren, though a man say that he hath faith and have no works? Can faith save him? Right. But it also talks about that we should give our brothers, love one another as ourselves. So he's mentioning the commandments, and he's mentioning our love to one another as brothers, right? And thou believest there is one God, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. But this is King James again. But wit thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead. Was not Abraham justified by works? Yet, and this is in 24, yet see then how that by the works a man is justified, not by faith only. Likewise, but verse 26, for the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead. So if we go into Revelations, so that book of life, if we go into the last book of Revelations, actually, you know what? I'm going to go one back in 21, because the last verse also talks about the book of life. And now I can't seem to get back. Something happened here. Genesis, I want to go into, now it's not going to let me, why not? Okay, so then we're going to do this. We're going to go into 20, and we're going to go into 21. 21, last book. Oh, it doesn't let me get 21 now. Why not? Yeah, it's interesting how they try and block 21. There we go. And there shall in no wise enter into anything that defileth, nor whatsoever worketh abominations, or maketh a lie, that which are written in the book of the Lamb book of life. Well, this is an abomination of God's day, God's commandments. Climate Sunday, worship the earth, Mother Earth, day of rest, right? But let's look at Revelations 22, the last book of the book. Somebody else posted this today, but it was New Living Translations, and they took out the word commandment. Behold, I come quickly. Blessed are he that keep the sayings of this prophecy, of the prophecy of this book. Then he said unto me, Thou do it not, for I am thy fellow servants and thy brethren and the prophets, and them which keep the sayings of this book. Worship God. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, and give every man according to his work shall be. Well, why doesn't it just say faith there? Because there is a decision that we have to make, I believe, to keep the commandments. This is to be zealous, therefore, right? I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do the commandments, that they might have the right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates of the city, right? He's telling you very plainly here, keep the commandments. Like, I think we've been deceived, Protestants. We have drunken the wine of her fornication, right? And it's not good. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of this prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in the book. Well, God says, will the law disappear? God forbid. He also says, anyone further in the New Testament, he says, if thou nulleth or take it away anything, you will be condemned. So don't change the Holy Scriptures, right? It's just very interesting how he has deceived the nations through that. But I was just getting into chapter 15 or verse 15 of Revelations 13, and I wanted to start off this one. And he had power. I'm going to do it like this. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And that's interesting. What is life? Is this artificial intelligence? What they are going to give the beast the power to both speak and give life? And he is going to control through artificial intelligence to worship the image somehow? That on Sunday, Climate Sunday, we are going to be somehow restricted to worship? Well, Pope wants ethics over all AI. He's met with IBM, Microsoft, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. He's met with all of these big corporations. Why is a religious figure sitting down for ethics on artificial intelligence? Because they're going to give that image of climate to the image of the beast that we will all worship. That's what I see as coming. And here it is. Like, how can AI help Climate Change Sunday? And you look, there is lots of information how AI is going to help global warming and our Mother Earth, right? Climate change. You've heard it a million times, but. And then 16, he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or their foreheads, and that no man might buy, sell, save he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is them that have wisdom. Let him understand and count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Well, what is the mark in the hand or the forehead where you cannot buy or sell? United Nations biometrics identification, fingerprints and facial recognition. Now, I did some other videos that show a little bit detailed, but this is the biggest beast ever to rule United Nations. And the one before it was the Roman Empire. But now the whore, she's diverse from the rest. She sits on the beast, right? And I'm not sure how that it's exactly going to roll out, but it's like making a puzzle. Once you have 50% of the puzzle together, you can see a clear picture. You can see a clear picture. You can see the cow standing. You can see the farmyard in the background. You can see the little pond. You can see the sunset. You kind of know what it is already. And that no man may buy or sell save that he had the mark, digital identity, right? And he's going to take control over that. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the name. What is the number of the name? Vicarius Filii Dei. It's the papal system, Rome being the last beast of Babylon. That's my interpretation of Revelations 13. Now, welcome to hear other people's opinions, because the sword edifies both ways. But at the end of the day, I think it all needs to go back to King James, because there's just too many translations that differ.